In the last video, we left off by looking at the Formwork Tech Talk features here and documenting them. So the task for you now would be for your product to fill out this list of software requirements too. So you would think about all the features your software has and create new software requirement entries by navigating to software requirements and then hitting new. Or for a hardware device, these things would be called system requirements. Let's actually look at how Formwork helps you to automate this even further and makes it, in my opinion, extremely easy and seamless. One thing we recently built was this AI auto-generation feature, which is essentially based on a large language model. So I could, for example, say like, I don't really know like how this stuff should look like, and it's very tedious to type out my features here, but I can literally just use a large language model to do it for me. So I can say like, okay, I can draft software requirements for me, use the safe design input, yeah, sounds good, and then hit the auto generate button, and then it's gonna essentially try to like write your software requirements for you, and it actually worked pretty fast. And then you can see it drafts all these software requirements for you, which I think is really, really, really cool. And you can like accept or reject each one of them. So zoom in and out sounds pretty cool. Actually, let's take this one first. This is cool. Dim images from all modalities. I don't know, maybe too generic. Zoom in and out of images. Rotate images makes sense. Brightness and contrast. All right, I'll leave it at 5 because otherwise it won't be. We won't finish this video today. And now you can go to the software requirements list and you can see, awesome, this is really cool. Formwork drafted stuff for me already. And you can even go even further and hit edit. And if you want Formwork to write the description for you, you can also hit the auto generate button in the top right corner. I'll write the description. We can save this. And then we already have made a lot of progress in our regulatory documentation, which I think is really, really cool. A big disclaimer is that this is kind of like an early feature, so it has currently only been rolled out to software requirements, writing software requirements, and software tests. So you can even write your software tests for you. Let's actually take a look at this, zoom in and out of images. And for all the other categories, we haven't developed this yet because we're still observing how well this works for companies and how much our users like it. Well, they do like it, but the question is like, how can we make this even more seamless for the other categories? And you can see there actually are sometimes like minor things going wrong. So in this case, it pre-wrote a test, which is really, really cool. But the step number doesn't equal the expected number. So you would probably have to do some manual work here and write what you would expect from the test number 4 here. All right, so that's the auto generation, which I think is probably a really, really awesome automation which you have in Formwork, which again sets it completely apart from other eQMS software out there. But one other automation which I'd really like to show you too is user trainings. So how does a user training typically work? A user training typically works by filling out a template for each user and saying like, okay, well, first you have to define your trainings, right? First you have to say, okay, we have in our company, we have a data privacy training, we have a software development training, This is a regulatory requirement, and then you have to prove that each of your relevant employees or people in your company have been trained on these trainings. And the way of proving this sucks completely because you would have to fill out like a document which both of you sign where you say like, hey, user Oliver, or employee Oliver has been trained on data privacy training. And then we sign this with like a clunky PDF signing tool, and it's hell because you have to do this many, many times. In Formwork, we have automated this. And personally, I think it is a really elegant solution, but I may be biased. So you can see all your Formwork users on the left side. So these are the people you invited to Formwork. Again, you can change that in settings, user management, and all your trainings are here at the top. So you can create a new training here. And the really, really cool thing is like, I don't know, you could say like IT security training. So. And then you would describe it here, All of this is kind of like not super important here. Like if you want people to read relevant documents, which are like related to that, you could link them here, which I think is quite useful. But the really, really cool thing here is you have a quiz. So you can create a quiz here, a multiple choice quiz, which you can send out to your employees who should undergo this training. And each quiz can have like a question like is it okay to leave your laptop unattended? Sounds a bit like this thing they say at airports, like don't leave your baggage unattended. And then you can enter answer possibilities, yes, no, I don't know, only in Berlin, and one of them has to be correct. All right, so and you can create as many questions as you want, as you want, and as many. Each question can have as many answers as you want, but only one can be the correct answer. And then it's set to, I think you have to answer at least 60% correctly to pass this quiz. So if you send it out to people, otherwise they don't pass, but they can retake it. So it's a bit of an automation there. All right, so we could save this, but I'm actually not going to do this to not mess up our production system here. And then you can, once you have created these trainings, you can simply send out the training requests. So I could send out a training request about, I don't know, general QMS training to myself, send a request. This is actually another quiz training, so it has a other mechanism that the effectiveness needs to be checked by someone else, which is the old way of doing things. I would recommend to do the quizzes instead, but the way of sending out trainings looks pretty much the same. And then I send it out, and then the person gets an email and a notification, and it pops up on the dashboard here on the QMS dashboard where it says like, dude, you have to go through this training, please like do it. And again, like it cannot be understated how big of an automation this is, because otherwise for each of these people combined with the trainings, you would have to fill out attendance sheets and that sort of stuff, and even manually do trainings like in person possibly. So it's a complete catastrophe. And in my personal opinion, this is probably, of the 3 automations we looked at, this is the top, like the number 3 automation of the top 3 automations. I think that's really, really cool. So to recap, this was a bit of a highlight reel of the Formwork's greatest hits. So to get started, firstly, go to the Open Regulatory Templates, copy over all the templates from your quality, from our quality management system section here, customize them, and you have a finished QMS. This is probably, it can be done in, I don't know, a few days, couple of weeks, depending on how thorough you are. And it will leave you with a complete QMS, which usually costs like easily 5 figures in euros and probably also US dollars from other consultants, like something like maybe, I don't know, 50k euros or so you get here for essentially for free. Second automation is go to the tech doc section and create the software requirements aided by the auto generation feature, which is really, really cool. Again, doing this in like tables or spreadsheets is probably going to be 10 times slower at least, and it will leave you with inconsistent data, and you cannot automatically generate these cool things from the audit export. And finally, one of the other automations, and the number 3 automation, is trainings. Automatically train your users in a super fast way simply by clicking a few buttons and sending them quizzes and getting the appropriate proof for your audit too. And what I forgot to mention here is this can also be exported by clicking in the top right corner on export, and it also gives you a spreadsheet. All right, so where does this leave us? I walked you through the most commonly used Formwork features and the most helpful Formwork features. But the question for you is like, what's next? And we do have like one more thing which we recommend to customers if they become our consulting customers, and even if they don't become our consulting customers. So even if you like don't want to work with us, there's one more thing which might be interesting for you, and that's the wizard course. The wizard course can be found in this courses wizard section by navigating there and then clicking on the wizard. But what is it actually about? So the wizard actually walks you through all of these topics more in depth. So it literally walks you through all the open regulatory templates and tells you like how you could customize them and what they really mean. And while this all may seem extremely boring, it actually is quite fun, because my colleague and I, we recorded the videos and we actually had a great time while doing so. It also walks you through the tech doc section. And again, it doesn't walk you through how to use Formwork. I kind of like just started that here, but instead it walks you through the content. So if you like look at software requirements and you ask yourself like, how many should I document? The answer is like 20 to 30 generally. But you might have similar questions like that too, and the wizard provides answers to all of those common questions, like how in-depth should you document them? How should you like link them to other things? How do you document like the risks and what sort of risks in your software would you generally expect? So all that sort of stuff. How do you do user tests? How do you test your software with users in a compliant way? All of that is covered more in depth in the wizard. And I hope we kind of like strike a fine balance and a very fair balance by making the wizard a paid purchase, whereas the starter course is completely free. And many features of Formwork are actually completely free. So that's cool. But I hope it allows you to get stuff done much quicker than like paying shady consultants or paying shady eQMS software vendors. And it also allows us to stay profitable and continue working on this piece of software and our videos and consulting. Anyway, next steps. So you can start your free trial now that you've finished watching this video. For that, you probably navigate to the Formwork section, and then you'll be greeted with a button somewhere, very obviously, where you can start your own free trial. If you're actually interested in purchasing Formwork, you can go to Settings, Billing on the left side here. If you want to purchase the wizard and want to look at the wizard, you actually go to Courses Wizard, take a look at the wizard here. And if you're interested in consulting, just reach out to us at openregulatory.com or like hitting the bottom right chat thing and saying like, hey, we need help. And we also have a need help button here, and then you can click somewhere and like send us a contact form message. All right, with that, enjoy your free trial. Good luck with your compliance journey. And we always like continuously try to improve all of this content in our software. So if you have any feedback, again, send us an email via the contact form or use the nice chat widget at the bottom right corner to send us your thoughts. All right, good luck and let me know how it goes.